It is late. That's what we really need to understand here. Joe Biden is not on time. Now I ask you this question. If you were at work, so let's say you work at Bojangles, just for conversational sake. You're at work, you show up late. What happens? You get fired. Joe Biden, it's all good, bro. He's the president, so. I got some audio here. Some audio. Let me see. Hold up. Hold on. We got some audio here. Audio graphic. What is audio? That's not a thing. Audio graphic is not a thing. Is this here? Is this functioning? And then we have the interpreter on the side there. Text President Biden. Wait, why would I text President Biden? Is he campaigning? Like, what? Is he announcing his 2024 run now? Like, what is this? Is that Jill? Oh, Christ. Is that Jill? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna be doing some Doom here in a second, but this is my annual State of the Onion show, people. And I got some onions on the State of the Onion. So I'll be discussing what I think. I'm not going to be doing demos, really. I'm just going to do practice for Icarus while I do this. So I'm just kind of throwing
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Let me know if the audio is okay. Give me an audio check. And the video. Once Biden is on here, I'm going to, like, crop out the bullshit on the sides. But for now, I don't know where they're going to frame Biden, so I just kind of have the whole thing open. Alright. Hello, Sinkwell, and About to Sleep, and Diafic, and Ood, and Bitefire. I think I said hi to Bitefire. Maybe I didn't. Who knows? Man, these guys are... I thought that they would have been done clapping by now, but I guess Biden's in the crowd. He's crowd surfing. Look at him go. Look at him go. That's our guy. He's the leader of the free world, folks. He's in the... Look at him go. Look at him go. There you go. Good guy. That's the president. It's the guy, the free world. I love the term, the free world. That shit's low key. That's awesome. Yeah. What it's like waking up knowing you're a part of the free world. The free world. Oh, there's Kevin McCarthy. Oh, what's he saying? What's he saying to Kamala? Kamala's happy to be there. She's like, whoa, I haven't been on TV in like 2 years. Since the last State of the Union, that bitch hasn't been on TV in a long time. The interpreter here, she's having a great time. On the right, she's just, look at her smile. She's happy to be there. She's like, oh shit, I'm on YouTube. Hey! Alright, Joe Biden is shambling his way. He is shambling his way there. He's about halfway there. I love how we're getting like the streamer splash screens at the bottom here. Like this is like a Twitch stream. Like subscribe to the channel. White House, subscribe. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Text President Biden. Why would I text President Biden though? Like, what do I gain out of that? Like, usually they would say something like text this person this number for some reason. Like, they're just telling us text the president. I don't know. Like, you want to text him? You need a reason? He's the president. Text him. Just, I don't know. Text him. Like, what kind of fucking, what show am I watching? This is some crazy ass shit. These motherfuckers are still clapping. Has Joe Biden moved like an inch? Like, what is going on here? He's making his way to there. I was about to say, like, Joe Biden's gonna hop the desk, but do you think Joe Biden could hop a desk? Oh, there he goes. Taking the scenic route. And everyone's like, oh god, am I still the 30-minute clap? Oh, yeah, and then, like, you know, goddamn, like if I had to clap for 30 minutes straight, you know, I'd be a little tired. Oh, there he is. It's the leader of the free world, everybody. The free world. And he's shaking Kevin's hand. January 6th is all under the bridge now. Water under the bridge, buddy. We got a handshake. Yeah, you tried to destroy the country. Oh well. It's the water under the bridge, man. It's all good. It's all good. One of the guys who tried to destroy the United States. Hey, he's the Speaker of the House now. What could what could possibly go wrong? Like, okay, so he's at the podium and they're still clapping for him. Like, we got 30 minutes of clapping and you're still clapping for him? Is this a joke?
Members of Congress,
okay.
I have the high privilege and the distinct honor to present to you the President of the United States.
Did this guy just say distinct? Did he forget the second T in distinct? This motherfucker just said the distinct honor.
Mr. Speaker. Thank you. You can smile. It's okay.
Okay, Joe Biden already with the bangers. You can smile. It's okay. I like it.
Thank you. Please.
Already got some bangers from Joe.
Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President.
All right, we're here.
Our First Lady and Second Gentleman. Good to see you guys up there. Members of Congress.
Hello, ass Kohler. Goddamn ask Oler. That's like your self-help column. Hello, Retro Boomer.
By the way, Chief Justice, I may need a court order. She gets to go to the game tomorrow, next week.
Ooh.
I have to stay home.
Oh.
Gotta work something out here.
What?
Members of the Cabinet, leaders of our military, Chief Justice, Associate Justice, and retired Justice of the Supreme Court, and to you, my fellow Americans. You know, I start tonight by congratulating the 118th Congress and the new Speaker of the House,
For
Kevin
what?
McCarthy.
What are you congratulating? Congratulations, Kevin McCarthy. For... What is the congratulation? What? Congratulations. Yeah, sure. Your party tried to kill all of us 2 years ago, but no worries.
Speaker, I don't want to ruin your reputation, but I look forward to working with you.
Ooh. Oh, punchy. Punchy.
I want to congratulate the new leader of the House Democrats, the first African-American minority leader in history, Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries is garbage. This guy is shit on my shoes. Trash fucking minority leader. Probably worse than Nancy Pelosi, but that remains to be seen in full. Look at this guy. Like, look at him. Like, he doesn't even know how to respond.
I campaigned for him. Congratulations to the longest serving leader in the history of the United States Senate, Mitch McConnell. Where are you, Mitch?
Wait. Did he say minority leader? Or am I skipping a beat? Or is that Joe Biden?
And congratulations to Chuck Schumer, another you know, another term as Senate Minority Leader.
Ooh.
You know, I think you. Well, this time you have a slightly bigger majority, Mr. Leader. You're the majority leader.
Okay.
About that much bigger?
Well,
I tell you what. I want to give special recognition to someone who I think is going to be considered the greatest speaker in the history of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi.
Wow. I mean, we're off to a great start. Like, by the way, 9 o'clock is my bedtime. I stayed up for this, but I also have now discovered it's Joe Biden's bedtime. This guy is, and we haven't even started the speech.
The story of America is a story of progress and resilience, of always moving forward, of never ever giving up. It's a story unique among all nations. We're the only country that has emerged from every crisis we've ever entered stronger than we got into it.
That is not true.
But
that's
folks,
a lie. Fact check.
That's what we're doing again. 2 years ago, the economy was reeling. I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs. More jobs created in 2 years.
The jobs report is garbage because all the new jobs are replacing older jobs that were higher payers. So people are getting new jobs,
2 years ago,
but they're getting paid less during an inflation economy. So, but hey, whatever.
And 2 years ago, COVID had shut down, our businesses were closed, our schools were robbed of so much, and today, COVID no longer controls our lives. And 2 years ago, democracy faced its greatest threat to the Civil War, and today, though bruised, our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken.
What? This, like, what? Unbowed and unbroken, I mean... Those are words. Those are words that exist in the English language.
We're writing the next chapter in the great American story, a story of progress and resilience. When world leaders ask me to define America, and they do, believe it or not, I can define it in one word, and I mean this: possibilities. We don't think anything is beyond our capacity.
That is true.
Everything is a possibility.
Everything is a possibility.
We're often told that Democrats and Republicans can't work together. But over the past 2 years, we've proved the cynics and naysayers wrong.
No, they haven't.
Yes,
no.
We disagreed plenty.
What?
And yes, there were times when Democrats went alone.
What?
But time and again, Democrats and Republicans came together.
Is he really?
Came together to defend a stronger and safer Europe.
No.
It came together to pass once in a generation infrastructure law, building bridges connecting our nation and our people.
Wrong.
We came together to pass the most significant law ever, helping victims exposed to toxic burn pits. And in fact...
So he's giving Republicans credit for shit that they, like, dragged out for multiple weeks and months. Like,
important.
You get credit for nothing, essentially. Hey, go Sunu.
In fact, I
letter
signed
hack.
over 300 bipartisan pieces of legislation since becoming president.
Bipartisanship doesn't mean it's good. It means it's probably bad, actually.
The Reform Act, the Respect for Marriage Act that protects the right to marry the person you love.
It doesn't actually protect that?
If we could work together the last Congress, there's no reason we can't work together and find consensus on important things in this Congress as well.
There's a lot of reasons. So far this is straight up fantastical thinking. But I'm here for it.
Folks,
oh, is this a fucking ghost? Get the fuck out.
You all are as formed as I am, but I think the people sent us a clear message. Fighting for the sake of fighting. Power for the sake of power. Conflict for the sake of conflict gets us nowhere. That's always been my vision of our country.
I mean, it gets Kevin McCarthy to the speakership.
To restore the soul of this nation, to rebuild the backbone of America, America's middle class, and to unite the country. We've been sent here to finish the job, in my view. For decades, the middle class has been hollowed out. In more than, and not no one administration, but for a long time. Too many good-paying manufacturing jobs move overseas. Factories closed down. Once thriving cities and towns that many of you represent became shadows of what they used to be. Along the way, something else we lost: pride, our sense of self-worth. I ran for president to fundamentally
Speak for yourself.
To make sure our economy works for everyone, so we can all feel that pride in what we do. To build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out, not from the top down. Because when the middle class does
Is
well,
this
the
a
poor
Bernie
have a
Sanders
ladder up,
speech?
and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well.
That sounds like it was pulled out of like Bernie Sanders' campaign ad. But like none of it is true. Like he's not advocating or looking into any of this. He's just like doing like a Bernie Sanders stump speech, and then
my dad, but my dad used
we
to
hope
say,
that we
"Joey, a
forget
job's
it's
about
Biden."
A lot more than a paycheck. He really would say this. It's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, "Honey, it's going to be okay," and mean it. Well, folks, so let's look at the results. We're not finished yet by any stretch of the imagination.
We gotta finish
but
the fight,
unemployment
everybody.
rate is at 3.4%, a 50-year low. A near record.
I got a couch dog situation
Near record unemployment.
brewing back here. I don't know if you can see this.
Near record unemployment for black and Hispanic workers. We've already created, your help, 800,000 good-paying manufacturing
couch
jobs.
dog.
The fastest growth in 40 years. And where is it written? Where is it written that America can't lead the world in manufacturing? And I don't know where that's written. For too many decades, we imported projects and exported jobs. Now, thanks to what you've all done, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs. Folks, Inflation has been a global problem because the pandemic disrupted our supply chains, and Putin's unfair and brutal
Corporate
war
price gouging.
in Ukraine
Come on,
disrupted
say it.
Energy supplies
Price gouging.
as well
Corporations.
as food supplies,
Corporations.
blocking all that grain in Ukraine.
Say corporations. Come on.
But we're better positioned than any country on earth right now.
I
But
doubt
we
it.
have more to do. But here at home, inflation is coming down.
Say
Here
corporations.
at home, gas prices are down $1.50 from their peak. Food inflation is coming down, not fast enough, but coming down. Inflation has fallen every month for the last 6 months, while take-home pay has gone up. Additionally, over the last 2 years, a record 10 million Americans applied to start new businesses. 10 million. And by
That
the way,
doesn't really tell us anything, though. Like, let's be honest.
Every
That
time.
doesn't really tell us anything.
every time someone starts a small business is an act of hope. And Madam Vice President, I want to thank you for leading that effort to ensure that small businesses have access to capital.
Kamala got her shout
and
out.
historic laws we enacted that are going
There
to
you
just
go.
come into being. Standing here last year, I shared with you a story of American genius and possibilities. Semiconductors, small computer chips the size of a fingerprint that power everything, from cell phones to automobiles and so much more. These chips were invented in America. Let's get that straight. They were invented in America. We used to make 40% of the world's chips. In the last several decades, we lost our edge. We're down to only producing 10%. We all saw what happened during the pandemic when chip factories shut down overseas. Today's automobiles need 3,000 chips, each of those automobiles. But American automobiles couldn't make enough cars because there weren't enough chips. Car prices went up. People got laid off. So did everything from refrigerators to cell phones. We can never let that happen again. That's why we came together to pass the Bipartisan Chips and Science Act.
Chips and science.
Folks, I know I've been criticized for saying this, but I'm not changing my view.
Here we go.
We're going to make sure the supply chain for America begins in America. The supply chain
He's been
begins in
criticized? Who would criticize Joe Biden for saying
already
that? That is
created-
like the most milquetoast thing in the world.
We've already created 800,000 new manufacturing jobs without this law, before the law kicks in. With this new law, we're going to create hundreds of thousands of new jobs across the country. And I mean all across the country, throughout not just the coast, but through the middle of the country as well. That's going to come from companies that have announced more than $300 billion in investment in American manufacturing over the next few years. Outside of Columbus, Ohio, Intel is building semiconductor factories. on the
Just
1,000
by the
acres.
way, this is all a bunch of
Literally
bullshit.
the field
Gish
of
Gallop.
dreams.
The presidential
10,000
State of the
jobs
Union, they
have
usually
one
throw
investment.
some stupid ass
7,000
garbage at the
construction
start so
jobs.
that you think,
3,000
whoa,
jobs.
and then you
in
turn
those
off the
factories
TV
once they're
thinking
finished.
something good is
They call them
happening.
factories. Jobs paying an average of $130,000 a year, and many do not require a college degree.
I love the word, that's a good part. Like, we're not going to make college, you know, affordable or free or manageable to go
Because we
to.
work
We're
together,
just going to
these
make the
jobs
jobs
and people
dumber.
don't have to leave home to search for opportunity. It's just getting started. Think about the new homes, the small businesses, the medium-sized businesses. So much more that's going to be needed to support those 3,000 permanent jobs and the factories that are going to be built. Talk to mayors and governors, Democrats and Republicans, and they'll tell you what this means for their communities. We're seeing these field of dreams transform to the heartland. But to maintain the strongest economy in the world, we need the best infrastructure in the world.
I love how he says to maintain the strongest economy when we've never had that. So we need to get it to maintain it. But hey, you know, what are the details?
We used to be number one in the world in infrastructure. We've sunk to 13th in the world. The United States of America.
Oh, he's screaming.
13th.
He's screaming.
In infrastructure, modern infrastructure. But now we're coming back because we came together and passed the bipartisan infrastructure law, the largest investment in infrastructure since President Eisenhower's interstate highway system.
Reminder that it was going to be a lot better, and then they just let Republicans in on it for no reason instead of doing reconciliation. So now it's garbage, and it's just a corporate handout piece of trash.
We've funded over 20,000 projects, including major airports from Boston to Atlanta to Portland. Projects that are going to put thousands of people to work rebuilding our highways, our bridges, our railroads, our tunnels, ports, airports, clean water, high-speed internet, all across America. Urban, rural, tribal. And folks, we're just getting started. We're just getting started.
That's the thing about these
And I mean
speeches
it
is
sincerely.
it's literally like a Twilight
I wanna
Zone kind
thank
of
my
scenario.
Republican
Like
friends
none
who
of this
voted
is
for the law.
relevant to anybody or
My
matters at
Republican
all.
friends who voted against it as well. But I still get asked to fund the projects in those districts as well. But don't worry. I promised I'd be a president for all Americans. We'll fund these projects. And I'll see you at the groundbreaking.
What?
Look,
Like great, a couple people in Ohio are
This
going to get a
law-
job at a factory. Wonderful news for the
this
State
law
of the
will further
Union.
unite all of America. Projects like Brent Spence Bridge in Kentucky over the Ohio River, built 60 years ago. Badly needed repairs, one of the nation's most congested freight routes, carrying $2 billion worth of freight every single day across the Ohio River. And folks, we've been talking about fixing it for decades, but we're really finally going to get it done. I went there last month with Democrats and Republicans and from both states to deliver a commitment of $1.6 billion for this project. And while I was there, I met a young woman named Sarah.
Oh,
Who's here tonight.
Sarah.
I don't know
Oh,
where
shit.
Sarah is. Is she up in the box? I don't know.
Is Sarah
Sarah, how
here?
are you?
Where's Sarah? Does
Well,
anyone
Sarah,
know?
For 30 years.
Shout outs to Sarah. This is what they always do.
For 30 years, I learned, she told me she'd been a proud member of the Iron Workers Local 44, known as,
What is the trigger for this? I don't even know, man.
known as the Cowboys in the Sky.
Oh, he's screaming again? Oh, shit.
The folks who built Cincinnati's skyline. Sarah said she can't wait to be 10 stories above the Ohio River building that new bridge. God bless her. That's pride. And that's what we're also building. We're building back pride. Look, we're also replacing poisonous lead pipes that go into 10 million homes in America.
I don't know about replacing the poison.
400,000 school and child care
Have
centers.
Republicans signed off on this yet?
Every child in America can drink the water instead of having permanent damage to their brain. Look, we're making sure,
A little quiet riot?
we're making sure that every community in America has access to affordable high-speed internet. No parent should have to drive by McDonald's parking lot to help them do their homework online with their kids, which many thousands were doing across the country. And when we do these projects, and again I get criticized for this, but I make no excuses for it, we're going to buy American.
Who is like Biden is like, yeah, a lot of people are really upset at my let's not kill babies policy.
And it's totally
very controversial
totally
let's
with
stop
international
human
trade
sacrifice agenda. Like,
why America has been the law since 1933.
what's the controversy?
But for too long, past administrations, Democrat and Republican, have fought to get around it. Not anymore. Tonight,
Not
I'm
anymore.
announcing new standards that require all construction materials used in federal infrastructure projects to be made in America. Made in America. I mean it.
He means it, folks. It's not a joke.
Lumber.
Lumber. He's
drywall,
screaming now.
fiber optic cable.
Oh shit.
And on my watch, American roads, bridges, and American highways are going to be made with American products as well. Folks, my economic plan is about investing in places and people that have been forgotten. So many of you listen to me tonight. I know you feel it. So many of you felt like you've just simply been forgotten.
Yeah.
Amid the economic
Same.
upheaval of the past 4 decades, too many people have been left behind and treated like they're invisible.
Okay.
Maybe that's you watching from home.
It is. Hi.
Remember the jobs that
I'm
went away.
watching.
You remember them, don't you?
No, I don't.
The folks at home remember them.
I don't.
You
I'm
wonder
not at
whether the
home.
path even exists anymore for your children to get ahead without having to move away. Well, that's why I get that.
No, you don't.
That's why we're building an economy where no one's left behind.
Oh,
Jobs are coming back.
that's great news.
Pride is coming back because choices we made in the last several years. You know, this is,
What?
in my view, a blue-collar blueprint to rebuild America and make a real difference in your lives at home.
Huh?
For example, too many of you lay in bed at night like my dad did, staring at the ceiling, wondering what in God's name happens if your spouse gets cancer or your child gets deadly ill.
I
Or something
often,
happens to you.
yeah, I often
Are you
think
gonna
about
get
this.
money to pay for those medical bills?
Yeah, what
Are
about
you gonna have to
universal
sell the
health care?
house or try to get a second mortgage on it.
Universal health care, maybe?
get
Is
it.
that possible?
I get it.
No? I mean,
The
can we get
Inflation
some?
Reduction
Just
Act
a little
that I
bit?
signed into law.
Just a little bit of health
We're
care?
taking on powerful interests to bring healthcare costs down so you can sleep better at night with more security. You know, we pay more for prescription drugs
Yeah, I feel a lot
than
better.
any nation in the world.
I feel a lot
Say
better
it
knowing
again.
that Joe Biden
We pay more
said
for
he's going to do
prescription drugs
something
than
at the
any
State of the
major
Onion. I
nation
already
on
feel
Earth.
a sense of relief.
For example, 1 in 10 Americans has diabetes. Many of you in this chamber do, and in the audience.
Are we going to
Every
fix the
day,
poisoned
millions
food
need
supply?
insulin to control their diabetes.
Fix
so
the
they can literally stay
corn
alive.
subsidy? Corn subsidy?
Insulin's been around for over 100
No.
years.
No.
The guy who invented it didn't even patent it because he wanted it to be available for everyone. It cost the drug companies roughly $10 a vial to make that insulin. Packaging and all, you may get up to $13.
The best part is
But
he's
Big
doing the
Pharma
insulin speech, but
has
he's
been
not
unfairly
actually
charging
doing
people
anything about
hundreds of dollars,
insulin
$400
itself.
to $500
like,
a month.
like he's just reminding us how
record
horrifying
profit.
this whole thing is, and he's not doing anything about
anymore.
it. Okay, not anymore.
Not anymore.
All right, I'm listening. So it's not anymore. What's the mechanism? Is there new legislation? Not anymore. He said not anymore. So clearly it must mean
So many things that we did are only now coming to fruition.
what?
We said we were doing this, and we said we passed the law to do it, but people didn't know because the law didn't take effect until January 1 of this year. We capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors on Medicaid.
Okay, for seniors on Medicaid, what about, everybody else?
People are just finding out.
Is that anything?
I'm sure you're getting the same calls I'm getting.
What
Look,
about people that
there are
aren't
millions of
on?
other Americans
What about?
who do not or are not on Medicare,
Okay, all
including
right,
200,000 young people
all right.
with type 1 diabetes need this insulin to stay alive. Let's finish the job this time. Let's cap the cost of insulin for everybody at $35.
This is the State of the Union. Is like, we did one thing. Wouldn't it be cool if we did another thing too? I mean, yeah, that would be cool. But can you tell us the State of the Union? Like, isn't this supposed to be like a vibe check for the country?
They're going to do very well. I promise y'all. I promise you, they're going to do very well. This law also caps and won't even go into effect until 2025. Costs, out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors on Medicare at a maximum of $2,000 a year. You don't have to pay more than $2,000 a year, no matter how much your drug costs are. Because you know why? You all know it. Many of you, like many in my family, have cancer. You know the drugs can range from 10, 11, 14, 15.
We've all seen Breaking Bad. We know.
Cancer drugs. If drug prices rise faster than inflation, drug companies are going to have to pay Medicare back the difference. We're finally giving Medicare the power to negotiate drug prices. Bringing down prescription drug costs doesn't just save seniors money, it cuts the federal deficit by billions of dollars. By hundreds of billions of dollars.
Who is this guy even talking to
because
at this point?
these prescription drugs are drugs purchased by Medicare to keep their commitment to the seniors.
Well, you got to keep that commitment.
What? Instead of paying $400 or $500 a month, you're paying $15. That's a lot of savings for the federal government.
Yeah, but this isn't a law. He's describing his fantasy, which is
now some
good
members
fantasy.
here are threatening, and I know it's not an official party position, so I'm not going to exaggerate, but threatening to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act.
Mod check, basically.
That's okay. That's fair. As my football coach used to say, lots of luck in your senior year. Make no mistake.
Oh, he's screaming
if you
again.
try anything to raise the cost of prescription drugs, I will veto it. Look, I'm pleased to say that more Americans have health insurance now than ever in history. A record 16 million people are enrolled in the Affordable Care Act.
I would also like to remind everyone the population grows.
Last year,
like, the percentage is what we need to know, not the raw numbers.
$800 a year on their premiums. And by the way, that law was written and the benefit expires in 2025. So my plea to some of you, at least in this audience, let's finish the job and make these savings permanent. Expand coverage of Medicaid. Look, the Inflation Reduction Act is also the most significant investment ever in climate change. Ever.
I mean, that's a sad state of affairs, but technically true.
Creating American jobs, leading the world to a clean energy future. I visited the devastating aftermath.
We're not leading the world to
floods,
anything.
droughts, storms, and wildfires from Arizona to New Mexico to all the way up to the Canadian border. More timber has been burned.
Hello, Thrack. How's it going?
Than the entire state of Missouri.
Missouri.
We don't have global warming? Not a problem. In addition to emergency recovery, from Puerto Rico to Florida to Idaho, we're rebuilding for the long term. New electric grids that are able to weather major storms and not prevent those forest fires. Roads and water systems will stand the next big flood. Clean energy to cut pollution and create jobs in communities often left behind.
Once again, this is just like a list of things that aren't really happening.
Installed across the country by tens of thousands of IBW
Like, the
workers.
Inflation Reduction Act is, like, the timeline is so long for this shit.
Save more than $1,000 a year with tax credits to purchase electric vehicles and efficient
$1,000 tax credit. That's going to fight
appliances.
climate change? Yep.
Historic conservation efforts to be responsible stewards of our land. Let's face reality. The climate crisis doesn't care if you're in a red or blue state. It's an existential threat. We have an obligation, not to ourselves, but to our children and grandchildren, to confront it.
We're
proud
still
of
at
how-
this point just
how
debating
America
climate change,
at
and
last
if
is
you're gonna
stepping up
say
to the
like the
challenge.
Speaker of the House is a
We're
great
still gonna need oil
colleague
and gas for a while.
when he doesn't even believe in
what?
climate change, like
No,
I don't
we
believe,
do.
I don't buy any of this bullshit.
But there's
It's
so
just a
much
bunch of
more to
stupid
do.
fucking garbage that this guy is
gotta
fucking
finish the
spewing
job.
all over again.
We pay for these investments in our future by finally making the wealthiest and biggest corporations begin to pay their fair share. Just
Like he
begin.
says that as if anything in the Inflation Reduction Act is actually going to increase taxation percentage-wise on rich people.
I'm a
Like it's
capitalist.
not. Like,
I'm a capitalist, but pay your
oh,
fair
here we
share.
go. Here we go.
I think a lot of you at home agree with me and many people that you know the tax system is not fair.
I agree
It
with
is
many
not
people that
fair.
I know. It's true. I do agree with many people that I know. Thank you,
Look.
Biden. Based Biden.
The idea that in 2020, 55 of the largest corporations in America, the Fortune 500, made $40 billion in profits and paid zero in federal taxes? Zero? Folks, it's simply not fair.
Was that Marjorie
But
screaming in
now,
the background?
because of the law I signed, billion-dollar companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. God love them.
15%.
15%. That's
What's
less
your
than
tax
nurse
rate, by the
pays.
way? What's your tax rate? Like, is your tax rate higher or lower than
Let me be
15%?
crystal
I'm
clear. I
curious.
said at the
Wow.
very beginning, under my plans, as long as I'm
Stupid
president,
fucking country.
nobody earning less than $400,000 will pay an additional penny in taxes. Nobody, not one penny. But let's finish the job. There's more to do. We have to reward work, not just wealth. Pass my proposal for the billionaire minimum tax. You know,
Hello, Wancho.
there's 1,000 billionaires in America. It's up from about 600 in the beginning of the term. But no billionaire should be paying a lower tax rate than a school teacher or firefighter.
I agree.
I mean it.
I
Think
agree.
about
No shit. What do you mean think about it? There's no thinking required for this one, my friend. Like, that's a pretty obvious
I mean,
one.
look,
Think about it.
I know you aren't enthusiastic about that, but think about it.
Think about
Think
it.
about it.
Think about it.
Have you noticed Big Oil just reported its profits, record profits?
I have noticed.
Last year they made $200 billion in the midst of a global energy crisis.
Price gouging.
I think
Come
it's
on.
outrageous.
Price gouging. Say the
Why?
term. Price
They invested
gouging.
Too
Say
little
it.
of that profit increased domestic production.
Say it. Say price
And
gouging.
when I talk to a couple of them, they say, well, we're afraid you're going to shut down all the oil wells, all the oil refineries anyway, so why should we invest in them? I said, we're going to need oil for at least another decade,
Ugh.
and that's going to exceed.
I'm glad they're
honest.
laughing. That's cool.
We're gonna
I don't
need
know
it.
what they're laughing at, but
Production. If they had, in fact, invested in the production to keep gas prices down, instead, they used the record profits to buy back their own stock, rewarding their CEOs and shareholders. Corporations ought to do the right thing. That's why I propose we quadruple the tax on corporate stock buybacks and encourage
just a
long-term
reminder:
investment.
corporate stock buybacks were illegal like 10
They'll
years
still
ago.
make considerable
So,
profit.
gonna quadruple the tax on it. You know,
Let's
still
finish
doing
the
pretty
job
well.
and close the loopholes
From
that allow
zero,
very wealthy to
from
avoid
none.
paying their taxes. Instead of cutting the number of audits for wealthy taxpayers, I just signed a law to reduce the deficit by $114 billion by cracking down on wealthy tax cheats. That's being fiscally responsible.
I got no fucking
In
bullets.
the last 2 years, my administration has cut the deficit by more than $1.7 trillion.
Just a reminder: the
The
deficit
largest
doesn't fucking
deficit reduction
matter.
in American history. Under the previous administration,
Literally,
the
no one
American
cares
deficit
about that
went up
shit.
4 years in a row. Because those record deficits, no president added more to the national debt in any 4 years than my predecessor.
Yeah, who's the
Nearly
designated
25%
survivor?
Of the entire national
Hold
debt
up.
that took over 200 years to accumulate was added by just one administration alone, the last one.
Labor
They're the
secretary.
facts. Check it out. Check it out. How did Congress
Marty
respond to
Walsh.
that debt? They
President
did the right
Marty
thing. They
Walsh.
lifted the debt ceiling 3 times without preconditions or crisis. They paid American bills to prevent an economic disaster to the country. So tonight I'm asking the Congress to follow suit. Let's commit here tonight to the full faith and credit of the United States of America will never, ever be questioned. So
he's begging the Republicans not to do the debt ceiling bullshit?
Economy hostage. I get it. Unless I agree to their economic plans. All of you at home should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
Now they're crying. Now they're crying.
Give you anybody who
Goddamn
doubts
Stefanik, look at that bitch.
Contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote.
Are we getting a fight live?
Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion.
He's actually debating them live.
You know, it means if Congress doesn't keep the programs the way they are, they'd go away. Other Republicans say, I'm not saying it's a majority of you. I don't even think it's even a significant, but it's being proposed by individuals. I'm not politely not naming them, but it's being proposed by some of you.
He's debating the Republicans live and he's losing.
Look,
how is this possible? How is it possible?
Folks,
he's that bad.
The idea is that we're not going to be moved into being threatened to default on the debt if we don't respond. Folks, as we all apparently
Lots of
agree,
folks going on here.
Social Security and Medicare is off the books now, right? They're not to be started. All right. We got unanimity.
Unanimity?
Social Security and Medicare are a lifeline for millions of seniors. Americans have to pay into them from the very first paycheck they started. So tonight, let's all agree, and we currently are, let's stand up for seniors.
A little bash. I guess no hello to
Stand
bash.
up
They
and
can't
show
hear me.
them. Will not cut Social Security.
Hello, Don
Will
James.
not cut Medicare. Those benefits belong to the American people. They earned it. And if anyone tries to cut Social Security, which apparently no one's going to do, and if anyone tries to cut Medicare, I'll stop them. I'll veto it. And look, I'm not going to allow them to be taken away. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But apparently it's not going to be a problem. Next month, when I offer my fiscal plan, I ask my Republican friends to lay down their plan as well. I really mean it. Let's sit down together and discuss our mutual plans together.
They don't have plans. And if you want to pretend that they do, but like they're really bad and incompetent, like Joe Biden is not good at messaging that.
I can
like
tell
he
you,
is not good at like making fun of them in an effective
I'm going to
way.
show you going to cut the deficit by another $2 trillion. And it won't cut a single bit of Medicare or Social Security. In fact, we're going to extend the Medicare Trust Fund at least 2 decades, because that's going to be the next argument. How do we keep it solvent, right? Well, we'll not raise tax on anyone making under 400 grand, but we'll pay for it the way we talked about tonight, by making sure that the wealthy and big corporations pay their fair share. Look. Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
They aren't just taking advantage of the tax code. They're taking advantage of you, the American consumer.
I agree.
Here's my message to all of you out there.
Oh, he's absolutely going to cut Social Security if the opportunity arises. Joe Biden will absolutely. 100%.
Stopping $1 billion surprise bills per month so far. We're protecting seniors' life savings by cracking down on nursing homes that commit fraud, endanger patient safety, prescribe drugs that are not needed. Millions of Americans can now save thousands of dollars because they can finally get a hearing aid over the counter without a prescription. Look,
well, ain't that just wonderful?
Capitalism.
Oh boy, the C word.
Without competition is not capitalism.
Oh boy,
it's
here
extortion.
We go. Oh.
It's exploitation.
Yeah, no shit,
Last
jackass.
year, I cracked down with the help of many of you on foreign shipping companies that were making you pay higher prices for every good coming into the country. I signed a bipartisan bill that cuts shipping costs by 90%, helping American farmers, businessmen, and consumers. Let's finish the job. Pass the bipartisan legislation to strengthen antitrust enforcement and prevent big online platforms from giving their own products an unfair advantage. My administration is also taking on junk fees, those hidden surcharges too many companies use to make you pay more. For
This
example,
is never going to get passed,
we're making
though.
airlines show you the full ticket price up front, refund your money if your flight is canceled or delayed. We reduced exorbitant bank overdrafts.
Like, he's mixing up like
consumers more
past
than $1
tense
billion
language
a
here,
year.
but like none of this is
We're
law.
cutting credit card late
Like, this is
fees
just like some
by
ideas he came up
75%,
with,
from
and then that's it.
$30 to $8. Look, junk fees may not matter to the very wealthy, but they matter to most other folks in homes like the one I grew up in, like many of you did. They add up to hundreds of dollars a month.
This map
They
is
make it
still.
harder for you to pay
I'm
your
struggling.
bills or afford that family trip. I know how unfair it feels when a company overcharges you and gets away with it. Not anymore. We've written a bill to stop it all. It's called the Junk Fee Prevention Act.
It's never
We're
gonna
gonna ban
pass. I'm
surprise
glad he's
resort
talking about
fees
good stuff that he
hotels
wants to
charge on
do.
your bill. Those fees can
But it's
cost
the
up to
State of
$90
the
a night at
Union.
hotels that aren't
It's
even
called
resorts.
How Are We Doing?
The idea that cable, internet, and cell phone companies can charge you $200 or more if you decide to switch to another provider. Give me a break. We can stop service fees on tickets to concerts and sporting events and make companies disclose all the fees up front. And we'll prohibit airlines from charging $50 round trip for a family just to be able to sit together. Baggage fees are bad enough. Airlines can't treat your child like a piece of baggage.
That's a
Americans are
good
tired
line.
of being-
It's a good line. I
we're
gotta
tired of
admit.
being played for suckers. So pass the Junk Free Prevention Act so companies stop ripping us off. For too long, workers have been getting stiffed, but not anymore. We're beginning to restore the dignity of work. For example, I should have known this, but I didn't until 2 years ago. 30 million workers have to sign non-compete agreements for the jobs they take. 30 million. So a cashier at a burger place can't walk across town and take the same job at another burger place and make a few bucks more. It just changed. But they just changed it because we exposed it. That was part of the deal, guys. Look it up.
Look it
But
up.
not anymore. We're banning those agreements so companies have to compete for workers and pay them what they're worth. And I must tell you, this is bound to get a response from my friends on my left but the right. I'm so sick and tired of companies breaking the law by preventing workers from organizing. Pass the PRO Act. Because business have a right.
Yo, the PRO Act
Workers have a
hasn't
right
been
to
in the
form a union.
conversation for like literally like a year and a
Let's
half.
guarantee
Now the
all
PRO
workers
Act
have
is
a living
back.
wage. Let's
Okay.
make sure working parents can afford to raise a family with sick days, paid family medical leave, affordable child care. That's going to enable millions of more people to go and stay at work. And let's restore the full child tax credit, which gave tens
His
of millions of
party.
parents some breathing room.
His
Cut
party
child poverty in half
threw
to
the
lowest
tax
level in
credit in
history.
the garbage.
By the way, when we do all these
He
things,
signed off on
we
that,
increase
man. What the
productivity.
fuck?
We increase economic growth. So let's finish the job and get more families access to affordable quality housing. Let's get seniors who want to stay in their homes the care they need to do so. Let's give more breathing room to millions of family caregivers looking after their loved ones. Pass my plan so we get seniors and people with disabilities the home care and services they need. And support the workers who are doing God's work. These plans are fully paid for and we can afford to do them. Restoring the dignity of work means making education an affordable ticket to the middle class. You know, when we made public education, 12 years of it, universal in the last century, we made the best educated, best paid, we became the best educated, best paid nation in the world. But the rest of the world's caught up. It's caught up. Jill, my wife, who teaches full time, has an expression. I hope I get it right, kid. Any nation that out-educates us is going to outcompete us. Any nation that out-educates is going to outcompete us.
That's true.
Folks, we all know 12 years of education is not enough to win the economic competition of 21st century.
That's correct. He's good at stating problems.
Let's finish the job.
Like, that is a problem. I agree.
By providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. Studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school and go on to earn a 2 or 4 year degree, no matter their background they came from. Let's give public school teachers a raise.
Again, he's good at saying good things. Like, yes, we should save the cat from the tree. Great idea, Joe.
We're making progress by reducing student debt, increasing Pell Grants for working and middle-class families. Let's finish the job and connect students to career opportunities.
He's really trying to make this finish the job bullshit, like trend.
The best career training in America, in addition to being a pathway to a 4-year degree.
Got a Bernie Sanders State of the Onion.
A path to a good career, whether they go to college or not.
If only.
And folks, in the midst of the COVID crisis,
oh, here we go.
Schools were closed, and we were shutting down everything. Let's recognize how far we came in the fight against the pandemic itself.
We have come nowhere.
While the virus is not gone,
80% of Americans have refused the vaccine.
The ingenuity of
like,
medicine.
no,
We've broken
wrong.
the COVID grip on us.
Wrong. The grip
COVID
is
deaths are
no,
down by
wrong.
90%.
Wrong.
We've saved millions of lives.
Wrong. Wrong. 400,000 dead because they didn't
up.
have health insurance.
Soon
Wrong.
we'll end the public
Wrong.
health emergency.
Wrong. Wrong. Wrong.
But
just garbage. Garbage. Wrong. Wrong.
That's called
wrong.
a public
Trash.
health emergency.
Trash.
But
1984
we'll
shit.
remember,
Let's
the
go.
toll and pain
Brace for
is
impact.
never going to go away.
Oh boy.
More than 1 million Americans lost their lives to COVID.
And we're working really hard on the second million.
Families grieving, children orphaned.
And we're working
Empty
hard.
chairs at the dining room table constantly reminding you that she used to sit there. Remembering them, we remain vigilant.
No, we don't.
We still need to monitor dozens of variants and support new vaccines and treatments.
No, you're not.
Congress needs to fund these efforts and keep America safe.
But Congress isn't.
And as we emerge from this crisis,
We're not emerging.
stronger.
We're not
We're also
stronger.
gotta double
We're much
down
weaker.
on prosecuting criminals who stole relief money meant to keep workers and small businesses.
This is the least of our problems, but, you know, he's not going to do anything about this either. This is his way of shifting the fucking subject and the blame. This is garbage. What should Biden be saying? We'll do that tomorrow, Cloud.
Before I came to office, you remember, during that campaign, the big issue was about inspector generals who would protect taxpayers' dollars who were sidelined. They were fired. Many people said we don't need them. And fraud became rampant. Last year, I told you the watchdogs are back. Since then, we've recovered billions of taxpayers' dollars. Now let's triple the anti-fraud strike force going after these criminals, double the statute of limitations on these crimes, and crack down on identity fraud by
Biden personally is choosing to end the public health emergency. As far as I understand, Congress is irrelevant there. So Biden himself is choosing to pretend COVID is over and lying about it.
Fraud, the taxpayers get back at least 10 times as much. It matters. It matters. Look.
There is no shoe tomorrow, that's true.
Like the spike in violent crime in 2020, the first year of the pandemic. We have an obligation to make sure all people are safe. Public safety depends on public trust, as all of us know. But too often that trust is violated. Joining us tonight are the parents of Tyree Nichols. Welcome.
Like, Joe Biden ran on police reform, the George Floyd Police Reform Act, tripled police funding,
last week.
and then is bringing Tyree Nichols' family here as like a fucking prop.
Personally know.
This is crazy
There's no
shit.
words to describe the heartache or grief
This is
of losing
crazy
a
shit,
child.
man. This guy 3x
Imagine.
police funding.
Imagine
This is
if
awesome.
you lost that child at the
This
hands
is
of the
awesome.
law. Imagine having to worry whether your son or daughter came home from walking down the street, playing in the park, or just driving a car. Most of us in here have never had to have the talk that brown and black parents have had to have with their children. Bo, Hunter, Ashley, my children. I never had to have the talk with them. I never had to tell them if a police officer pulls you over, turn your interior lights on right away. Don't reach for your license. Keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Reminder, he
Imagine having to
tripled
worry
police
about that every
funding. So
single
while
time.
he's telling this stupid ass dumb
keep that in
fuck
the
sob
car.
story, he is directly
Here's what
responsible.
Tyree's mother shared with me when I
Directly
spoke to her.
responsible?
When I ask her how she finds the courage to carry on and speak out. The faith of God, she said her son was, quote, a beautiful soul, and something good will come of this.
I highly doubt that, but you know, she needs to cope.
Imagine
I
how much
understand.
courage and character that takes. It's up to us, to all of us. We all want the same thing. Neighborhoods free of violence. Law enforcement who earns the community's trust.
That's never gonna happen.
Just as
I'm
every
sorry.
cop, when they pin on that badge in the morning, has a right to be able to go home at night,
No, they don't.
so does everybody else out there.
Fuck them. Fuck that cop.
Our children have a right to come home safely.
I don't give a shit about a cop's right to come home from anything.
Equal
Fuck 'em.
protection under the law is a covenant we have with each other in America.
Reminder, he tripled police funding, so this is all a bunch of bullshit. I
We
can't
know
believe that that family went there. I'm
Police
going to be
officers
honest.
put their
That's
lives on the line every
that's
single
kind of
night and
impressive.
day. And we know we ask them in many cases to do too much to be counselors, social workers, psychologists, responding to drug overdoses, mental health crises, and so much more. In one sense, we ask much too much of them. I know most cops and their families are good, decent, honorable people.
That
the
is
vast majority.
extremely wrong. I have
They
cops in
risk-
my family and they're trash, they're garbage, they're abusive piles of shit. Fuck them all. So he's lying. There's no such thing as a good cop, but obviously I think anyone watching my
And
show
they
knows
risk
that.
their lives
They don't
every
risk their
time
lives.
they put that shield on.
No, they don't.
But what happened to Tyree in Memphis happens too often. We have to do better. Give law enforcement the real training they need. Hold them to higher standards. Help them succeed in keeping us safe. We also need more first responders and professionals to address the growing mental health, substance abuse challenges. More resources, reduce violent crime.
You know what you want to do? Given
More
he's the
community
president, he
intervention
could just
programs.
reschedule these drugs
More
and make it
investment
so
in
they're
housing,
not
education,
extremely
and job
illegal.
training.
And then people are allowed to get treatment for them. So he could do that, but he's
All
not.
this
Because he's a
to
freak.
help prevent violence in the first place.
But he's not
Police
doing it?
officers or police departments violate the public trust, they must be held accountable.
But they're never going to be. 98% of the time, cops don't even get
The
charged.
support. With the
Yo, where the
support
fuck? There's two guys now?
of the families of victims, civil rights groups, and law enforcement, I signed an executive order for all federal officers banning chokeholds, restricting
That doesn't do
no-knock
anything?
warrants,
Doesn't do anything?
and other key elements of the George Floyd Act. Let's commit ourselves to make the words of Tyler's mom true. Something good.
Did he
must
just call
come
him
from
Tyler?
this.
Did he
Something
just
good.
call him Tyler? No, he didn't. I've got to rewind.
And all
Instant
of us,
replay. Instant
something
replay.
good,
Instant
true.
replay.
Something good must come from this. Something good. And all of us,
How much clapping there is? Did I fucking miss it? I guess I missed it, whatever. Yo, I swear to God you said Tyler, though. I could be wrong.
folks, it's difficult, but it's simple. All of us in this chamber, we need to rise to this moment. We can't turn away. Let's do what we know in our hearts that we need to do. Let's come together to finish the job on police reform. Do something. Do something. That was the plea of parents who lost their children in Uvalde. I met with every one of them.
I
Do something
agree.
about gun
Do
violence.
something.
Thank God.
Do something.
Thank God we did.
I agree.
Passing the most sweeping gun safety law in 3 decades.
No, I mean,
That includes things like
sweeping.
the majority of responsible gun owners already support. Enhanced background checks for 18 to 21 years old. Red flag
Sweeping
laws,
is a
keeping
word
guns
to
out of the hands of
use.
people who are a danger to themselves and others. But we know our work is not done. Joining us tonight is Brandon Say, a 26-year-old hero. Brandon put his college dreams on hold.
Let's
to be at
go,
his
Brandon.
His mom's side when she was dying from cancer. And
Speaking of
Brandon-
cancer, I wonder what's going on with that. Are we going to end cancer yet, Joe? That's his goal before he leaves office, is to end
Brandon
cancer.
now works at the dance studio started by his grandparents. And 2 weeks ago, during the Lunar New Year celebrations, he heard the studio door close. And he saw a man standing there pointing a semi-automatic pistol at him. He thought he was going to die, but he thought about the people inside. And in that instant, he found the courage to act and wrestled a semi-automatic pistol away from the gunman who had already killed 11 people in another dance studio. 11.
It's true, like, this guy
He
is
saved
awesome,
lives.
but, like, he shouldn't have been in that
It's time we
situation
do
to
the
begin
same.
with.
Ban assault weapons now. Ban them now.
It's also funny because
Once and
assault
for
weapons
all.
are not very easy to get in California, so we're going to have to do more than say
I
ban
led the
assault
fight to do
weapons.
that in 1994. In 10 years, that ban was law and mass shootings went down. After we let it expire in the Republican administration, mass shootings tripled. Let's finish the job and ban these assault weapons. And let's also come together on immigration.
Oh,
Make it a bipartisan
How is-
issue once again.
assault weapons, immigration. What? Okay. I guess we're doing immigration.
We now have a record number of personnel working to secure the border, arresting 8,000 human smugglers, seizing over 23,000 pounds of fentanyl in just the last several months.
You know how to stop
We've
the
launched a
fentanyl
new
crisis?
border plan
Legalize
last month.
heroin?
Unlawful migration from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela has come down 97% as a consequence of that. But American border problems won't be fixed until Congress acts. If we don't pass my comprehensive immigration reform, at least pass my plan to provide the equipment and officers to secure the border.
I love how this guy is tacking to the right on border bullshit.
And a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those on temporary status, farm workers, essential workers. Here in the People's House, it's our duty to protect all the people's rights and freedoms. Congress must restore the right and the...
Uh-oh, they're yelling. They're yelling. Breaking news.
Congress must restore
Marjorie's
the right
yelling.
that was taken away
She's having a
in Roe
moment.
v. Wade and protect Roe v. Wade. Give every woman a consular right. The Vice President and I are doing everything to protect access to reproductive health care and safeguard patient safety. But already more than a dozen states are enforcing extreme abortion bans. Make no mistake about it. If Congress passes
I
a
wonder if
national
the
ban,
transgenders
I will
are going to
veto
get a
it.
shout out. I hope so.
But let's also pass the Bipartisan Equality Act. to ensure
Okay.
LGBTQ Americans, especially transgender young people, can live with safety and dignity.
I'm a transgender
Our
young
strength-
person. Shout out. Shout out. I told you.
Our strength is not just the example of our power, but the power of our example. Let's remember the world's watching. I spoke in this chamber 1 year ago, just days after Vladimir Putin unleashed his brutal attack against Ukraine. A murderous assault, evoking images of death and destruction Europe suffered in World War II. Putin's invasion has been a test for the ages, a test for America, a test for the world. Would we stand for the most basic of principles? Would we stand for sovereignty? Would we stand for the right of people to live free of tyranny? Would we stand for the defense of democracy?
I love this bullshit flowery
Such
language.
defense matters to us because it keeps peace and prevents open season on would-be aggressors and threatens our prosperity.
Yes, America, famed defender
year
of prosperity.
We know the answer. Yes, we would, and we did. We did. And together, we did what America always does at our best. We led. We united NATO. We built a global coalition. We stood against Putin's aggression. We stood with the Ukrainian people. Tonight, we're once again joined by Ukrainian's ambassador to the United States. She represents not just her nation, but the courage of her people. Our ambassador is here, united. We're united in our support of your country. Will you stand so we can all take a look at you?
So we can all take a look at you.
Thank you.
What is she, a fucking object? Is the camera gonna say? I want to take a look. I want to get a look-see.
Because we're going to stand with you.
We're all taking a look.
As long as it takes.
We're all taking a look. Yeah. He doesn't know who she is.
More freedom, more dignity, more peace. Not just in Europe, but everywhere. Before I came to office, the story was about how the People's Republic of China was increasing its power. And America was failing.
Oh, now China. Here we go.
Not anymore. We made clear, and I made in my personal conversations, which have been many, with President Xi, that we seek competition, not conflict. But I will make no apologies that we're investing to make America stronger. Investing in American innovation and industries that will define the future that China intends to be dominating.
I'll do a little discussion after this and answer questions,
with our allies
by the way.
To protect advanced technologies so they will not be used against us. Modernizing our military to safeguard stability and deter aggression. Today, we're in the strongest position in decades to compete with China or anyone else in the world. Anyone else in the world. And I'm committed. I'm committed to work with China where we can advance American interests and benefit the world. But make no mistake about it. As we made clear last week, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did.
But no, one, China never threatened our sovereignty. Two,
look,
we couldn't act to prevent them from doing anything because they didn't do that.
Winning the competition should unite all of us. We face serious challenges across the world. But in the past 2 years, democracies have become stronger, not weaker.
That's not true.
Democracies have grown weaker, not stronger.
That's not true.
Name me a world leader who changed places with Xi Jinping. Name me one. Name me one. America's rallying the world to meet those challenges, from climate to global health.
He's yelling at China.
To food insecurity, to terrorism, to territorial aggression. Allies are stepping up, spending more, and doing more. Look. The bridges we're forming between partners in the Pacific and those in the Atlantic, and those who bet against America are learning how wrong they are. It's never, ever been a good bet to bet against America. Never.
It's usually a pretty great bet, to be honest. Like, in the real world, betting against America, you're probably going to win. Oh, here we go. The State of the Union USA chant.
When I came to office, most assured that bipartisanship assumed was impossible, but never believed it. That's why a year ago I offered a unity agenda to the nation as I stood here.
When you do bipartisanship, what it means is you're doing worse legislation. Bipartisanship is not good. It's actually garbage.
We passed the gun safety law, making historic investments in mental health.
Yeah,
we launched
sure.
the ARPA-H drive for breakthrough in the fights against cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes, and so much more.
Yeah, they're not doing any of that.
We passed the Heath Robinson PACT Act, named after the late Iraq War veteran whose story about exposure to toxic burn kits I shared here last year.
I got so many rockets right now. Holy shit.
I understand something about those burn pits, but there's so much more to do. We can do it together.
How about why were we in Iraq in the first
place?
place?
Doug,
is anyone
from Newton, New Hampshire. He wrote Jill, my wife, a letter, and me as well.
And
about
me.
His courageous daughter, Courtney.
Are there 2 letters?
A contagious laugh. His sister's best friend.
Are we
her
2
sister's
letters?
Best friend. He shared a story all too familiar to millions of Americans and many of you in the audience. Courtney discovered pills in high school.
Oh, hell yeah.
It spiraled into addiction and eventually death from a fentanyl overdose. She was just 20 years old.
So legalize pills.
Describing the last 8 years without her, Doug said,
If pills were
no
legalized, she would have
worse
never
pain.
had fentanyl. So legalize
Their
pills.
family has turned pain to purpose, working to end the stigma and change laws. He told us he wants to start a journey toward American recovery. Doug, we're with you. Fentanyl is killing more than 70,000 Americans a year.
So how about we end the war on drugs? End the war on drugs. Clean drugs
You
for
got
all.
it.
No fentanyl poisoning. Come on. Wait, what did Matt Gaetz scream something?
So let's launch a major surge to stop fentanyl production and the sale and trafficking.
No,
With
wrong.
more drug detection
Wrong.
machines, inspection
Wrong.
cargoes, stop pills and
Wrong.
powder at
Wrong.
the border.
Wrong. That's not how it works. They don't put fucking
Working with
fentanyl
couriers like
in the
FedEx.
pills at the no.
Expect more packages.
Wrong.
Drugs.
No. God no. Wrong.
Strong penalties to crack down
Wrong.
on
This is
fentanyl
awful. Wrong.
Second, let's do more in mental
Wrong.
health, especially for our
Nope.
children.
Nope.
millions of
Inspecting
young
private
people
mail.
struggling
We're
with bullying,
inspecting
violence,
private mail.
trauma.
We just have to be
Bring
okay
greater
with
access to
private
mental health care
corporations
to schools.
inspecting our packages
We
now
must
because Joe
finally
Biden's a
hold
fucking
social
loser.
media companies
Yeah.
accountable for experimenting
Wrong.
they're doing running children for profit. There's time to pass bipartisan legislation to stop big tech from collecting personal data on our kids and teenagers online. Ban
He's not gonna
targeted
do anything about
advertising
that.
to children. And impose
Ban
stricter
targeted
limits
advertising
on
in
the
general.
personal data that companies collect on all of us. Third, let's do
I'd
more
pay
to
for
keep
Joe
this
Biden's
nation's
data.
One's truly sacred obligation to equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home. Job training, job placement for veterans and their spouses as they come to return to civilian life. Helping veterans afford the rent because no one should be homeless in America, especially someone who served the country.
I love this like qualifying homelessness. Like, yeah, no one should be homeless. We all understand that. But especially the veteran. How about let's just stop it at no one should be homeless. Can we just stop it there?
Dennis McDonough is here of the VA. We had a first real discussion when I asked him to take the job. I'm glad he did. We were losing up to 25 veterans a day on suicide. Now we're losing 17 a day to the silent scourge of suicide. 17 veterans
Are we
a
gonna?
day.
What about non-veterans?
suicide.
50,000 people kill themselves in this
More
country
than
every
all the
year. Are
people
we gonna
being
do
killed
anything
in
about that?
wars. Folks, VA's doing everything it can,
No, it's
including
not.
expanding mental health screening,
No, it's not.
proven programs that recruits veterans.
And how about we do that
help
for
other
everybody?
veterans understand what they're going through, get them the help they need. We got to do more.
Okay,
And fourth,
I agree with the
last
gotta
year,
do
Jill and
more
I
part.
reignited the cancer moonshot. I was
Okay,
able
we're
to
gonna
start
talk about
with
this.
President Obama asked me to lead our administration on this issue.
The cancer
Our
moonshot.
goal is
let's
to
go.
cut the cancer death rates at least by 50% in the next 25 years.
Why don't we do cancer prevention
Turn
so
more
people
cancer
stop
from
getting
death
cancer?
sentences to treatable diseases. Provide more support for patients and their families. It's personal to so many.
The only
of
way
us,
to do this
so
is
many of us
universal
in this
health care, by
audience.
the way. You can't do this without universal health care.
Joining us are Morris and Candice, an Irishman and the daughter of immigrants from Panama. They met and fell in love in New York City and got married in the same chapel Jill and I got married in New York City. Kindred spirits. He wrote us a letter about his little daughter Ava, and I saw her just before I came over. She was just a year old when she was diagnosed with rare kidney disease, cancer. After 26 blood transfusions, 11 rounds of radiation, 8 rounds of chemo, 1 kidney removed, giving a 5% survival rate. He wrote how in the darkest moments he thought, if she goes, I can't stay. Many of you have been through that as well. Jill and I understand that like so
Yo,
many
I
of
just
you.
gotta pause it for this one. How fucked up, by the way, and I'll put it on like 1.5x. But how fucked up is it that this cock-sucking shit for brains, balls for an asshole president is doing these oh, the kid died. Oh, the veteran killed themselves. Sob stories, right? Which are genuinely sad. I want to cry every time I think about this kind of shit, right? And he's doing nothing. Like, he's doing nothing. Nothing. And he can't even be honest with us and say, yo, the GOP, they're gonna block anything I'd try. He can't even be honest about what the fucking problem is. Right? So imagine we're on a road. We're driving a fucking car. We're driving our car now, okay? And then there's you never play Silent Hill, you know, when the fucking road just ends and there's like the abyss there? Yeah. Joe Biden's not even acknowledging that there's a hole in the road. Not even a pothole. We're just going to drive right into the Silent Hill void because this fucking asshole is too fucking proud of himself to just acknowledge that the GOP is an obstructionist garbage party and they're going to stop doing anything. As if Biden would do anything good if he had Congress, by the way. Like, he did all those great things the last 2 years, right? He did, like, what? Nothing. But anyway, let's...
And he read Jill's book describing our family's cancer journey and how we tried to steal moments of joy where we could.
Cancer.
For them, that glimmer of joy was the half smile of their baby girl. And then everything. They never gave up hope. Little Ava never gave up hope. She turns 4 next month. They just found out Ava's beating the odds, is on her way to being cured of cancer. And she's watching from the White House tonight. She's not asleep already. For the lives we can save. For the lives we can save and the lives we've lost, let this be a truly American moment that rallies the country and the world together and proves that we can still do big things. 20 years ago, under the leadership of President Bush and countless advocates and champions, he undertook a bipartisan effort through PEPFAR to transform the global fight against HIV/AIDS. It's been a huge success. He thought big. He thought large. He moved. I believe we can do the same thing with cancer.
What about COVID? What about COVID?
Cancer as we know it. Cure some cancers once and for all. Folks, there's one reason why we've been able to do all these things. Our democracy itself. It's the most fundamental thing of all.
We don't have a democracy.
Everything's possible. Without it, nothing is. For the last few years, our democracy has been threatened and attacked, put at risk, put to the test in this very room on January the 6th. And then just a few months ago, an unhinged, big lie, assailant unleashed the political violence, the home of the then Speaker of the House of Representatives, using the very same language the insurrectionists used as they stalked these halls and chanted on January 6th. Here tonight in this chamber is a man who bears the scars of that brutal attack, but is as tough and as strong and as resilient as they get. My friend Paul Pelosi. Paul, stand up.
I love that he's like going after Republican conspiracies, but
we must all speak out. There's no place for political violence in America. We have to protect the right to vote, not suppress the that fundamental right. Honor the results of our elections, not subvert the will of the people. We have to uphold the rule of law and restore trust in our institutions of democracy. And we must give hate and extremism in any form no safe harbor.
I'd say it's pretty hateful and extremist to do sob stories about police brutality after you've increased police budgets, but that's just my opinion.
Democracy must not be a partisan issue. It's an American issue.
Democracy is a partisan issue, though. Like, it is. I don't, regardless of whether we want it to be, it is.
Protect our democracy, defend it, stand up for it. And this is our moment. My fellow Americans, we meet tonight at an inflection point. One of those moments that only a few generations ever face, where the direction we now take is going to decide the course of this nation for decades to come. We're not bystanders of history. We're not powerless before the forces that confront us. It's within our power of we the people. We're facing the test of our time.
Hello, Gallardo.
We have to be the nation we've always been at our best.
How's it going?
Optimistic, hopeful, forward-looking. A nation that embraces light over dark, hope over fear, unity over division, stability over chaos. We have to see each other not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. We're good people. The only nation in the world built on an idea. The only one.
No, it's not the only one. Whatever he's about to say, it's not the only one, I can guarantee it.
Other nations are defined by geography, ethnicity.
What?
We're the only nation based on an idea.
What?
That all of us.
What?
Every one of us is created equal in the image of God. A nation that stands as a beacon of the world. A nation.
The country founded, the people who wrote this idea, they owned slaves. They had people as property. And this motherfucker is sitting here telling us we're the only country founded on the idea of equality. The motherfuckers that founded the country owned people as property. Like, and the idea that no other country has had the idea of everyone being equal, like Norway never thought about it. Like Greenland, they just never, oh, maybe, what if we're all equal? Like, fucking goddamn, like fucking Germany was just like, what if we just decided to be equal? No one else came up with that idea? It was the slave owners? That's the best version we got, the slave owners? Okay.
Of possibilities. So I've come to fulfill my constitutional obligation to report in the State of the Union. And here's my report.
Is this actually a constitutional?
Because the soul of this nation
so.
is strong. Because the backbone of this nation is strong. Because the people of this nation are strong.
No, they're not.
The State of the Union is strong.
Oh, he said the thing. He said the thing. The State of the Union is strong. It's always strong. You ever think about this? It's always goddamn strong. Like, goddamn, we're going into Iraq. The State of the Union strong. World Trade Center gets destroyed. The State of the Union strong. The goddamn, there's a pandemic that murders 1 million people. State of the Union looking pretty strong. It's always strong. Like, why not? God damn it.
I'm not new to this place. I stand here tonight having served as long as about any one of you have ever served here. But I've never been more optimistic about our future, about the future of America. We just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America, and there's nothing beyond our capacity if we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
What? What are the troops after what? Alright, if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, QCock, feel free to hit me up. I'll stick around for a couple minutes. Yeah, I mean, again, pretty generic State of the Union. Honestly, I mean, again, well, what are my major beats, right? COVID. He literally, again, like, just for context, by the way, during the last State of the Union, a year ago, it was a year ago, he declared victory on COVID a year ago. So, the idea that for 2 State of the Unions in a row, he's going to declare victory? Well, if you declared victory a year ago, why are we here now, right? So, anyway, you know, so that one, garbage. Again, ending the emergency, garbage. It's all trash. It's all garbage. You know, again, thousands of people are dying every week. It's just he's lying about it. The big lie, if there is a big lie, it's that COVID is just a cold, and feel free to go to those conventions. Everybody go to TwitchCon, go to whatever fucking convention Twitch people do, right? Go to work. Nothing to see here, you know? But, like, it's a joke. It's a joke, right? That's a joke. The fucking China thing, like, China was testing our sovereignty and we defended. Yo, he literally mentioned a balloon. The balloon story got into the State of the... Okay, I'm not even joking, though. But, like, if you would ask me a week ago, I didn't even know the State of the Union was today. But, like, if you would ask me a week ago, imagine time machine, right? Tuesday last week, okay? At the State of the Union, President Joe Biden will reference that we defended our sovereignty against a balloon. You would have told me that a week ago, I'd be like... No, but it's real. It's happened. He mentioned the balloon. Jesus Christ, man. Stupid bullshit. I mean, it's always stupid bullshit. You watch it knowing it's stupid bullshit. We watch this shit to get mad at it. That's the only reason to watch the fucking State of the Union is just to get mad. Like, that's all. That's all. We're just getting angry. We're just sitting here watching old Uncle Joe do some stupid ass garbage, and that's it. That's it. saying a bunch of bullshit. Like, half the speech is like, I want to do these things that I guess my dementia or whatever, if it's something else, let me know. These things I wanted to do, I could have done them for the last 2 years when Democrats controlled, but I forgot, whatever. But Republicans just came in, so now let's do the junk fee protection bill, right? Like, now let's do the, The one part was funny when he got into a little debate about Social Security and Medicare, but the audience can't really hear anything, so the debate is just kind of lost anyway. None of that matters. It's just the garbage. We live in a shithole country, in a shithole era. Like, this is hard to watch, right? But, like, this is all we got. This is what we got. So, all my guts, I have a lot to say on Cinema and Mansion, but it starts off with, why are Cinema and Mansion the people that we had to rely on? What happened before that? In 2020, Democrats were forecasted to get 56 Senate seats. What happened to that? Right? What happened is Democrats fucking suck at campaigning. What happened to goddamn, Maine? And that bitch in Maine that lost, easy layup, she was polling 20 points ahead of Susan Collins and she lost. What happened there? What happened to North Carolina? I lived in North Carolina at the time, right? So I know about that race. It's all, there's always a villain. But anyway, I did some Icarus practice. I don't know if anyone was watching, but I did do some Icarus practice. I got to really shape up on a couple more of these levels. I want to get a D2 all ready by the end of the week. I'm not doing an Above It All show tomorrow. I'm taking Wednesdays off. I might do a Twitch stream. I'm not sure. But tomorrow I'm probably just going to take it easy. I'll do an Above It All on Thursday. So, you voted for Cinema. Oh, talk about buyer's fucking remorse. Okay, I live in Arizona. All I know about Kirsten Sinema, she's the bisexual, fashion queen. I'd vote for her too. Right? But, I feel it. I made your night? Thanks. Or you're welcome? I don't know which one. Also, we got some new viewers here. We got Peanut Apprehension. Has Biden even mentioned COVID? He mentioned it twice to declare victory. So, yeah, the best way possible. We got Tag Gallard. Oh. Got some new viewers here. But, anyway. I do a political show as well as doing Doom speedruns. I have 2 things that I do with my time. And if anyone wants to watch my political show, I'm sure Dead End Joker will post the link if they're still awake. But I do have 2 YouTube channels. You can subscribe to this one to watch Above It All, which is my political and news show. And then I also have a Doom channel. So pick your poison, my friends. I got a little bit of a couch dog situation going. I got a little couch dog thing that's happening here. You can't see it because it's dark. But there is a couch dog. Right here. I know you can't see. Let me see if I can open up a notepad or something. See if I can. A little bit of a couch dog scenario that's unfolding. I don't know if this is just opening and full screening apps that have white light. Is this can you see any of this? A little couch dog? It's a little, he's taking a nap. Taking a little couch dog nap. But I got a couch dog going on. Hello, Echos. I'm getting ready to wrap up here. So, there's totally a couch dog. I mean, I can hear the goddamn couch dog. I don't want to, like, shine light in his eyes, but, you know, look at that couch dog. Have you seen that shit? There's a goddamn couch dog just hanging out. That's crazy. Look at this dog. So anyway, that's what I'm dealing with. That's what I gotta put up with. So what's gonna happen next for me is, by the way, my bedtime is 9 o'clock. Joe Biden doing the State of the Union at my bedtime, that's anti-American. But, you know, whatever. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go into my bed, and then after that, what's gonna happen is this goddamn couch dog is gonna get up off the couch, and he's gonna go walk across the floor into my bed, and then he's gonna step on me. That's what he does every time. So that's what I gotta deal with right now. That's my immediate future. But it's my bedtime, so anyway, thank you all for showing up. Once again, I got a lot going on, so if anyone is new here, that's great. I streamed a lot today. I did Above It All this morning. I did like a 3-hour, maybe 4, I don't remember, drunk stream. And then I ate dinner and drank a lot of water, and then I sobered up for this, which is the State of the Onion. And this is like, I spent way too much time streaming today. I mean, this is bad for my mental health. Or is it good? I don't know. I'm getting caught in the dopamine cycle. But anyway, that's the State of the Onion. And the State of the Onion, not very strong. But, you know, whatever. What are you going to do?